In the year 1829, the small English town of Rainhill was bustling with excitement. People from across the country gathered to witness a historic event, one that would change transportation forever. George Stephenson, an unassuming yet brilliant engineer, stood near his creation, a locomotive he called the Rocket Star. George had come a long way. Born in a modest mining town, he'd spent his youth working in the coal pits. But he was curious, always observing and tinkering, finding solace in machines. By night, he studied the principles of steam power, his mind racing with ideas of how it could be used to transport goods and people faster than anyone had ever imagined. The Rainhill Trials, organized by the Liverpool and Manchester Railway, would test the limits of what steam engines could do. It was a contest to find the best locomotive to power the new rail line between two of England's most important cities. George knew he had tough competition. Among them were John Ericsson with his speedy novelty and Timothy Hackworth with the strong, heavy Sans Perel. But George had a quiet confidence. The Rocket was unlike any other locomotive. It had a unique multi-tubular boiler design, which he believed would keep it steady and fast while carrying heavy loads. As he adjusted the machinery that morning, his son, Robert, stood by his side. The two had worked tirelessly, perfecting every detail of the engine, and today, their hard work would be tested. The crowd roared as each locomotive took its turn. Novelty amazed spectators with its speed, but it struggled under the weight. Sans Perel was powerful, but couldn't keep a steady pace. Finally, it was time for the Rocket. George took a deep breath, his hands steady on the controls as Robert loaded the firebox. With a sharp whistle and a burst of steam, the Rocket surged forward, gliding down the tracks like an arrow. The crowd watched in awe as it reached speeds no one had thought possible for a locomotive. As it crossed the finish line, George looked back at his son, pride shining in his eyes. They had done it. The Rocket's victory at the Rainhill Trials wasn't just a personal triumph for George. It marked the dawn of the railway age. Soon, Stephenson's designs would spread across continents, transforming economies and connecting people in ways previously unimaginable. In the years to come, George Stephenson would become known as the father of railways, but on that autumn day in Rainhill, he was simply a man with a dream, whose determination and vision set humanity on a new path. This story could serve as an opening narrative or as a thread woven through the video on George Stephenson's historic achievements.